Hey guys, and welcome to Nomadic Dmitry channel. It's your daily portion of Russian accent, tech reviews and also travel stuff as well. So today what do we have? I bought myself a new device which is called Moto G Power 2021. So basically it's a new version which was released in January. So I thought, alright, so it seems to be a new version, sounds cool. Well, it's not that easy, so let's actually go ahead and check this out. Alright, so what do we have here? Oh, oops, sorry guys, it's just a box. So this is the phone itself, and I should say honestly that it feels nice in the hand. I mean, it really feels nice. I mean, solid and all that. The screen is huge actually, the screen is really huge. But we'll talk about it later, because it's not that easy. The camera itself, it says 48 megapixels and all that, macro zoom and whatever nice features, but honestly the camera is not that good, but it's adequate for the price, I would say. Alright guys, and this is the sound from the built-in microphone. I'm not sure how does it sound, but the picture quality, I think it's okay for the most part. So let's go ahead and explore the phone itself. So it has the USB-C charger right here, which is quite nice. I mean, for that age, for 2021, I think it's totally fine. It has a mono speakers, unfortunately, because it's a step back from the previous generation. It just has a mono speakers, guys. So if you care about the sound, probably it's not your best choice. But I would say honestly that I don't really use it much on the speakers. I typically just plug the headphones, and you can actually have this normal headphone plug right here. So comparing to the iPhone, which uses like proprietary kind of lightning cable and all that, you just need additional cables and all that, but here you can use the traditional headphone jack, which is still cool in 2021. On the back side right here, it has a micro SD slot as well as for a SIM card. I mean, honestly, sometimes you need to make calls and stuff like that, right, in 2021 still. So yeah, basically it has all the goodies, and honestly I think it's really good, because in many phones and many like really good phones like Pixel, it just doesn't have stuff like that, but here it still has it, so you can still take photos and record those on SD card, which is really great. When we talk about the phone specs itself, I would say the screen is not ideal for sure, right? Screen is not really ideal, and you can see it probably right here. It kind of feels a bit pixelated because it's 720p. It's not like Full HD, it's not a 1080p resolution. But talking about the screen size, it's really huge, right? As I said. And honestly, the phone itself feels really fluid. For example, I just can open it like this. I mean, applications run really fast. I don't see any problems so far. Probably if you just like do some mobile gaming, a lot of mobile gaming, it's probably gonna be having some problems. But I have Carmageddon installed right here, which is not honestly the recent app for sure. And I also have I also have some other games like this one. I also have Temple Run 2, and I also play this one. It's totally fine. But yeah, probably just like really low-end kind of games. If you have some kind of different games, maybe just reconsider. But I mean, it starts fine, it works really nice. I honestly don't see any problems. So when we talk about just like using apps for reading, for example, this is like a good example, like Medium app, and I think this is really cool. I mean, it's really nice for reading. I mean, I really like it. I have no problems at all. So just like basically I've used it for a while, for like 3 days, guys, and it's totally fine for me. I don't know, I don't have any problems. The video playback itself is also totally fine. Like, for example, I'm playing a YouTube app right now, and I mean, it's totally fine. Of course, if you just like take a look at the pixels, you might see a few pixels right here. You're definitely gonna notice this, but honestly for me it still operates fine. Of course, the speakers really not that good, but if you use headphone jack and all that, it's totally fine. Of course, if you take a look at the benchmarks, it's not gonna perform that well. Let's actually go ahead and check this out. Alright guys, so this is how the score looks like, and it's not that great, right? For example, the multi-core score, if you compare to something else, for example to OnePlus, I mean, it's almost twice as much, right? And I mean, there are really good phones here. But I mean, guys, what do you expect from the phone for the $200, right? This is such a huge screen, right? I mean, of course, the screen itself is not that great in terms of pixel density, but I mean, it performs well for the price. We just wish it was that great like in the previous model, because in the previous model, 2020 model, it was a 1080p, which is much better. Of course, there is also some other issues. For example, the CPU itself is slower than the CPU that was before in the previous model. The CPU is a Snapdragon 662. I mean, there's a different CPU in the previous model, and it's a little bit faster. But it's not only that, the performance of the networks is also better in the previous chip. but I mean, honestly, it feels like Motorola just got whatever they had, like whatever they had in the previous model. They just decided like, hey, what are the features that users are not really using that much? For example, the stereo speakers, they're probably thinking that like most of the people just using the Bluetooth. The screen itself, I mean, it's really hard to notice unless you're actually looking. And I have a good vision, so I'm definitely able to distinguish and see like the pixels and everything. But for most people, I mean, it's gonna be just fine. I mean, they're not gonna notice. And all those features that were actually removed, like for example, the 4K recording was removed in this model. But guys, the 4K recording, I mean, I actually tried to record my videos in 4K, and I don't really know what to do with all that footage because it takes a lot of enormous amount of space on a disk, and I mean, I'm not shooting anything in 4K right now, so 1080 is totally fine for me. Unless you're actually shooting the 4K videos and need all that kind of stuff, then you probably should go with the previous model, or it's better to upgrade to something like Pixel, because Pixel of course is much better phone compared to this one. But hey, I just got this one for like 1 or 2 years. Just, I mean, I need this one actually for testing. I already have like my iPhone 8, which is like I use a lot, but this one I just need for testing and for testing applications and stuff like that. So, and for that purpose, it's okay phone. I would much rather actually prefer to buy a refurbished Pixel, guys, but I mean, there are some problems. For example, I actually bought the one from the eBay, and whatever I received was locked to the T-Mobile, so I was not able to unlock it basically, and it was a deal breaker for me, guys. Probably gonna be more lucky than me, but this is the problem. Like, many of those eBay phones are just coming locked. In terms of the game performance, this is Temple Run, guys, and I mean, it's totally performing well for this machine, right? I mean, it's totally fine. And of course it has all the Motorola features. For example, if you do like this, if you shake the phone, it actually enables the flashlight like this. So if you care about those kind of Motorola features, you should definitely get this one. And what I like about this one as well is that it's basically like a stock Android experience. There are not much customization. There are still some customization. There are like Moto app, for example, and there's some customization it has, like see what Moto can do. I mean, I'm not even exploring that kind of stuff, guys. I just immediately removed a bunch of bloatware from here, but it still has it. It's not exactly the stock experience. If you just want to have complete stock experience, then go with Pixel, but of course Pixel costs more. So what else I like about this phone? It's the fact it's basically unlocked, so it's basically unlocked for any carrier, and you can just use any SIM card basically. If you're abroad, you can use any SIM card. It's basically either GSM or CDMA, like Verizon for example, or T-Mobile. Both kind of standards gonna work just fine, and I mean, it's really good. You don't need to unlock anything, and it just works out of the box. So I mean, it's really cool. Actually, even the box is beautiful. Take a look at this. It just had like basically charger, the cable, and what else? Does it have even some kind of manuals here? Not really much stuff. Oh yeah, I mean, the SIM card remover, and that's it basically. There's not much else. What about the battery, guys, you might ask? I mean, it works totally fine. I just used it for 2 days, and it's like 46% right now, and I mean, it's totally fine for my purposes. So the camera app is basically whatever you just expect from the Android phone, right? So basically there's a slider. You can select either photo or video. Photo and video, you can select all the settings right here. It also has this macro mode right here. Just switch this one, and I think it's fine, but do not forget to basically switch to this one. And the video itself is fine, but I mean, in low light conditions, it doesn't perform well. I mean, of course I don't like it, but I mean, even all other phones I had before didn't perform well in those kind of conditions. Alright guys, so what can I say about the phone overall? I think it's actually a good phone for the price, and I think you can actually find really good deals. Some deals are like $100 or less for this phone, which is like really good price. But I mean, even if you go with the full price, like $200 or something for the base model, and 250, it's actually 229 right now. They have some kind of discounts. So it's basically, you should go for the better model, because this one has the 4 GB of RAM. It's actually not that great in 2021, but it's still okay for the price, and I mean, it still performs well. I don't see any kind of problems with it, honestly. If we just talk about the specs day and night, we can say like, okay, this is not that good, there are some problems with the phone, but it performs well for that price. And of course it was better in the previous iteration. It was better in the previous iteration, but this one is also not that bad. I mean, just shop around and see. And you're not gonna keep this device for many years, right? You're probably just gonna grab it and have it like for a couple of years. And this one should, in theory, have like 1 additional year of security patches and updates compared to the previous model. But still, I mean, you're not gonna use it more than 2 years, I think. Like after 2 years, you're gonna replace it with something newer. And for example, and if you break the screen or something happens, because for example, I'm using this one without the screen protector, without the case, and if something that happens with that phone, actually, I'm not gonna care. I'm just gonna buy a new one. But if you buy some like really expensive kind of phone, you're just gonna be worried about, okay, I'm gonna break the screen, I'm gonna break that, and I mean, in this case, no, I just don't care. I'm just gonna use it and enjoy it. Alright guys, thank you for watching. If you like this video, please press the like button, subscribe, and there will be more videos. Alright guys, bye.